Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to our channel, Mainly Hybrid Homesteading. I'm Tim, and today, as you saw, I was just looking at the sawmill. We got a beautiful day here. It's about 43 degrees. I heard the birds chirping a little while ago, and the woodpeckers pecking away, and sounds of spring. They went away as soon as I fired up the chainsaw, but they'll be back. Anyway, we got a beautiful day here, and wind's fairly calm. I was collecting sap yesterday. Got about 30 gallons, I think, 25, 30 gallons. I'm going to try and get started on boiling today. And hopefully the weather looks like it's going to be nice today, so we'll see how far we get. I really enjoy spring a lot. As you can see, I just took my coat off. I was cutting and splitting some wood, getting things ready to burn, get the fire pit lit up. Burn barrel, the sap barrel, whatever you want to call it. And before I go too far, I also want to say last night we hit 100 subscribers. Woohoo! 100 subscribers. Woohoo! We're pretty happy about that. We want to thank everybody, really seriously. Appreciate all your support and help with the likes and the comments. And we're really looking forward to the next 100 and so on. We think we really enjoy doing this and look forward to doing a lot more for you guys, and really enjoy and appreciate you tuning in to see what we're up to every day or every other day or whatever we do for videos. I've been really enjoying it, and kind of new at this still, obviously, but you know, hopefully as time goes on, we'll be able to do some more interesting stuff, especially with the weather warming up here. Once I can, really looking forward to getting the sawmill fired up. Excuse me. It's been a long winter in terms of since I put that away and cut my last board on there. Really didn't get around to cutting too much this winter. Kept the yard clean, which will be nice once the rest of that snow melts. It's going to get muddy, but excuse me. Hopefully we can start firing that up. I was looking at the prices of lumber this morning, up again. I think a 2x4x8 piece of lumber from our local big box store went up to $7.98, so I think that's like 50 cents in the last day or so. It's really gone up quite a bit, but with this sawmill, hopefully we'll be able to carry forward with our projects and not have to worry too much about some of the lumber prices and availability. Anyway, for today, I wanted to show you what we got going on. And flip this camera around here. So this is where I keep the sap that I collect. It's one of the only places, this is out behind our shed, it's one of the only places that doesn't seem to get full sunlight all day, and the snow tends to last quite a bit longer here. So you can see I've got the drum 35-gallon barrel here. I've got my bucket. I'm going to collect some sap out of there and bring it over to the pit. It's kind of neat because the snow falls down off the roof here on the shed, and well, with the bucket I will be able to bring in some more snow if I need to, but we're just really getting going. I collected, like I said, about 30 gallons yesterday, maybe 25 or so gallons. I had another 5 already, so I get about 30 total. So I think we're really getting into the season now as far as the sap flowing, and we'll see how it goes. Last year I think we did probably about 40 or so gallons, and we've already collected more than that this year. Last year was my first year. Didn't really know what I was doing. Still don't really know what I'm doing, but
that's a little obvious.
Learning, watching a lot of videos, trying to learn and understand as much as I can about how this process works. And we're really not set up for high volume, but the amount we do, we really enjoy it. So it's been a lot of fun. Let me show you what we got here. This actually got cold last night. You can see got, I'd say probably close to 30 or so gallons anyway. So we're going to get that boiled down as much as we can today. I don't know how far I'm going to get. It all depends on how well the burn goes and how fast I can get it boiled down. My last video, I think it was the first one of the season, we did about 16 gallons or so, 15, 16 gallons. Took me about, I think, 6 hours. pretty good. Went pretty well.
Wow, it's impressive.
And we're really enjoying that. That's came out really good. So I'm just going to collect this sap up here, and we'll bring it over to the fire pit, and hopefully the birds will start chirping again as it warms up today. It's supposed to get up near 50, so let's get going here. I had somebody ask me about this barrel kit I bought, and as I said before in the other video, very basic kit. Comes with this door setup, little vent here at the bottom, some legs. Unfortunately this one broke right here. That was my fault. Probably didn't, I dragged it or something, maybe broke it, I'm not sure, but pretty stable. I'm not too worried about it going anywhere. I put this wood underneath to try and level it off a little bit. Last time I did a burn, it was a little unlevel, but I think I got it pretty close now. This kit came with this base here. We had to add the pipe, and it's got a nice little flue control here, and that was it. Now the other thing they asked me was what I put on the inside if I lined it, and I did. I actually bought this grate the same time I bought the kit, and I went down to my local hardware store and bought some fire brick. Now I only bought I think 6-7 pieces, maybe 8 pieces, and it wasn't really enough to do the whole inside of the barrel. I had a patio block that I put on the back to try and keep the heat in the back, and then once I put this grate in, these pieces here kind of just slid down right here like this, and that was enough to kind of help keep the heat in. I'm sure it helps. I'm not sure how much, but it definitely can't hurt to keep the fire up off the bottom of the barrel. Gives me a little bit of airflow underneath the grate here. And the other thing that I added, so that's the grate and the brick setup inside. Nothing fancy, really crude, really rough. I've seen a lot of different videos on how people make these. Some of them will make sides that go up so the pan sits nice and flush and it's airtight, which is really a nice setup. Really, I probably would say the right way to do it. But I had, not knowing what I was doing initially, just cut my hole out here around the barrel, and then realized that I was getting too much blow by, so I added some more pieces. You can see this piece right here. I welded in here, just kind of tacked it in there. And same with the back here. I added a little piece on the back, and then this little piece here where the pan actually sits on. So that kind of helps, can keep the smoke down and the ashes and whatnot. The other thing that I added to this burn barrel, or the sap burning barrel I made, is I made this. I put this pipe on. You can see where it screws in to where one of the bung holes where the cap was. And what I did here is, you can see there's threads on here, and this is the original cap. and I found a 2-inch piece of pipe I had laying around, and I just welded it to the top of that cap and then cut the hole out so that it would be open, obviously. And on the end of this pipe is a fan. I just made a little adapter kind of to put in this 2-inch pipe, and I put this fan on. You can see it's an electric fan. I have it plugged in back to the house here, not too far away. And what I do is I can easily plug this in, and the reason I like this setup is because it really helps me maintain a constant heat temperature, I guess you would say, or constant burn. Without it, what I found was it's a constant battle to try and keep the temperature consistent. Like if you were cooking on your gas stove or on a stove, you would just set your temperature and that's what it would be, and that's fine. But with a barrel setup like this, you're really dependent on making sure you have good venting through here, maybe cracking your door open, obviously using your flue back here. So there's different things you can do to try and maintain that heat and that temperature consistently so that you can burn. Obviously the goal is to burn, or not burn, but to boil as much sap as you can, as quickly as you can. And the way I found best to do that is to really just try and keep your temperature up as high as you can to keep that boil going. And this fan really helps me do that. Whenever it drops down, I can just turn it on. Usually it's usually running quite a bit, but so that's basically the setup I have going. Nothing fancy, really kind of rude and crude, but gets the job done. It was inexpensive, and it was a way for us to try it out before we decided if we wanted to make further investments on doing this kind of activity, which we do enjoy doing. It's a lot of work. It is, you know, a lot of people think, well, we're going to get out and collect some sap and boil it down today, but you're really boiling water when it comes right down to it. I think it's 97-98% water for that 2-3% sugar that you're trying to get out of it. That process takes a long time, so I think it's going on, I'm not sure, maybe 10 o'clock here, and I'll be out here most of the day now until it starts getting dark. I don't want to be doing this all night, so I'll boil what I can today, and we'll see how far we get. So I got my setup here. I got some wood ready to go. My coffee and my water over here. And yesterday I collected some wood that I had down behind the house here. These are trees that I had taken down several years ago, so it's relatively dry wood. Some pine and red oak, maybe some white oak in there too, but I got my pans all cleaned out over here, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to get this fire started. I won't bore you with all the real details of boiling, but I'll show you what I'm doing as I go along today, and hopefully that'll help somebody. If they have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. I'm sure there's a lot of suggestions on how to improve this setup, but for me, it works, gets the job done. We're getting some good syrup, and I'm enjoying it. And I can hear the birds chirping again. Nice, love it, love spring. All right, let's get going. All right, here we go. nice, but I wouldn't get that exercise. The other thing that fan is nice for is helping me get the fire going. Well, that wood's not as dry as I thought it was.
You think?
I can see the water coming right out of it. But once I get it fired up, it should be fine. Just got to get a good bed of coals going here. Cracking pretty good now. Smoke on the water. Smoke in the water! No smoke and steam. Finally getting a good boil going on this back pan here. This one's just starting to get a little hot. Now most setups like this, you'll see sometimes you'll see a warming pan, preheater they call it, and that will be so that it kind of brings your sap up the temperature so that you can then transfer it into your boiling pan. On this setup, the back pan over here tends to be the hotter one because the heat is going towards the back up the exhaust pipe here. So this one tends to burn warmer. So that'll boil off first, and then as this boils down, you'll just transfer that into here. So you want to try and bring this up to as hot a temperature so that when you transfer it, it doesn't stop or slow your boil down. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So what I've seen on some setups is they'll actually set up a couple warming trays on both sides. Really nice. Looks like it would work pretty well. And that way there they can have those two pans warming up, have two more pans down here, and just kind of keep transferring from those pans to this pan and finally into this one until you get your final concentrate. It can take a little bit to get the fire going if you don't have dry wood. You're going to be going through quite a bit of wood.
Just like you.
It takes a lot of heat to get this up to temperature and keep it boiling steady for long periods of time. Now, if you're doing small quantities, I've seen some people say they can do it in their house, but we realize that if you're doing it on an electric or propane or gas stove, it's going to use a lot of fuel or electricity. Not only are you using a lot of fuel to get it boiling, but you got to keep it boiling. And if you're doing a lot of sap, the ratio could be as much as 40 gallons sap to 1 gallon of syrup. If you have sugar maple type trees, we have here on this property a lot of red maple and some silver maple, I believe. So that actually produces less. The concentrate of sugar in that sap is actually much lower, or not much lower, but lower than sugar maple. So if you have sugar maples, it's 40 to 1 roughly. If you have red maples or silver maples like I have, and probably some other ones too, I'm not sure, it could be as much as 50 to 1, 50 gallons for 1 gallon of syrup, sorry. So it takes quite a bit. It takes a lot of sap to boil down, it takes a lot of wood to keep it going, it takes time because you got to babysit it pretty much the whole time. That could be hours and hours.
Having fun yet?
Which, if you have a nice beautiful day, and we do here, it's actually kind of enjoyable, relaxing, kind of focus on what you're doing here, and not too much to do, just I keep kind of scooping out some of the stuff and debris and ashes that fall in. I have a bucket here I just rinsed my screen off with. And you can see that's boiling pretty good. That one's actually starting to boil. So what I'm going to do now is start transferring some of this into here to keep this pan full, and then I've got some more sap. I got another 5 gallons here, so this will be our second 5-gallon pail today, and I'll start scooping that into, or pouring that into this pan, and just repeat the process all day long.
Having fun yet?
From the bucket to the pan, the final pan.
Can you say that again?
From the bucket to the preheater pan to the final boil pan.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're going to see how hot this is. We got 2 pans boiling. This one's just getting boiling again. I had it boiling pretty good, and then I poured about 1 gallon of sap in there, and not even a few minutes ago, so it's pretty hot right now. But I wanted to get a temperature reading here. Let's see what this says. 203, 37, 200. Like 200 there. Of course, this one's coming up the temperature too, so this one's not far off. I'd say we made a good dent in that today. It'll probably be the last 5 gallons I get today. That makes it 20. Right here will be 20 gallons today. Probably got, I don't know, close to another 10 in there. So we'll finish that up another time. Supposed to get some snow tomorrow, so probably won't be doing any boiling for a few days. I'm sure there's some more that's collected in the buckets today. It's been pretty nice. I checked them this morning. There was a little bit coming down, but it's been warm all day, so probably gonna have to empty them out again in a couple days. But for now, we'll take this back and finish boiling this a little bit. And that should take us to nighttime. And finish it off inside. All right. So we're down to about 6 hours of boiling now. Working on about just under 20 gallons. Still got more saved up in the bucket, but I'm going to call it a day once I finish boiling this down. It's getting dark. It's going to get dark here pretty soon, and I've got to kind of clean things up a little bit. We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow, not much, maybe an inch or so, and then some rain. So I'm going to try and get this finish getting this boiled down right here. Got it going good right now. It's been a bit of a struggle all day. The wood I thought I had that had been cut for a couple of years actually was a little wet and took a little more to keep it going than I used to, so I ended up not being able to boil as much as I had hoped.
Whose fault is that?
But got a good going now, and as long as I can keep it that way, I can get this boiled down and bring it in the house and finish boiling it in there. But like I said, it's been about 6 hours so far, just under 20 gallons. I've got a couple more gallons in the bucket back here, right there, that by the chair. But I'm going to put that back in the barrel and save it for another time. I still got at least another probably 10 gallons in the barrel out back, and I'm probably guessing we got another 5 gallons today that probably came out of the trees. So we'll save that for another time, probably next week. The weather's looking even better. Looks like we're getting an early spring.
Yeah, you wish.
Pretty happy about that. You never know in Spain, it could be snow or this kind of weather. So I'll take this other than the mud. It's been a good day. Actually got to eat some lunch today.
Aren't you special?
And it's been going pretty good. Wish I had been able to get some drier wood. I'm going to definitely work on that for the next burn. I know where there's some more drier wood, and be a lot better to keep this boiling all day than simmering, more or less. I'd rather see it boiling, and that's what we got going now. Let me turn it around real quick. As you can see, I got both pans boiling now, which is even better. I'm still going to transfer over to this one here and boil it down over here, and I'll put some water in this pan so I don't fry the pan. But looking pretty good, starting to smell good.
What does it smell like?
It's been a great day overall. Kind of nice to get out here and just wrapped up here, and we'll bring it inside and we'll show you the final product once we get it down to a final boil. Well, here it is the next day, and you can see it's snowing a little bit. Not as, it looks pretty bad, but it's actually not too bad. This will melt quickly and we'll be back to boiling in a couple days. But anyway, we ended up boiling until about, I ended up being out here until I think it was around 6 or 6:30, and got it boiled down and moved it inside. Now, let me go show you what that looks like. Got a couple pints out of the deal, and came out pretty good. Finished around 8:30, so total time was probably around 9 hours for about 15 to 20 gallons. So that wasn't too bad. And this is what we ended up with. Pretty nice looking. As far as clarity goes, kind of hard to see there, but yeah, not bad. I didn't get to use a hydrometer on it. It started to boil. I had the thermometer in it, and it looked like it had hit the temperature. I think it's 219, but I'm going to test it one more time. I may end up having to boil it down a little bit more, but it was getting late, and I just wanted to wrap it up. So we got it down to this, and we'll still taste real good. And if we leave it that way, we'd enjoy it, but like to see if we can get it a little better. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the down below in the description. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, share, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.
Happy trails. See ya.